Welcome to More Than It Seems, Stories Beyond the Cardboard, a series where one piece of cardboard can create the ultimate link to baseball history. Behind every photo and stat line lies something richer: resilience, drama, joy, heartbreak. Untold stories that go far beyond the box score. This isn't just about collecting the cards, it's about forming a lasting connection. I'm John, and I'm glad you're here. Before modern-day minor league marketing ploys and the showmanship of creative offshoots like Jesse Cole's Savannah Bananas, there was a man who was possibly one of baseball's most creative, controversial, and unforgettable characters. If you've ever wondered who turned baseball into more than just a game, who brought in fireworks, exploding scoreboards, and outlandish promotions that had fans talking for decades, well, that was Bill Veeck. And as you can see on this 1980 Perez Steel Hall of Famer Series postcard, he wasn't a major league ball player, but he sure was a major character in cultivating the way we experience the sport. The most beautiful thing in the world, Veeck would say, is a ballpark filled with people. Bill Veeck grew up in baseball. His father was president of the Chicago Cubs in the 1910s and 20s, so young Bill had access. He spent plenty of time around Wrigley Field. While other kids were shagging flies, he was watching how a team operated behind the scenes. In fact, one of his first big ideas was helping to plant the famous ivy on Wrigley Field's outfield walls. That's right, the iconic green backdrop for so many great moments in Chicago Cubs history came from a teenage Bill Veeck and his forward-thinking eye for presentation. Deep in his heart, Veeck believed baseball was entertainment, and if you were going to sell tickets, you had to give fans something to remember. "I'm from the Dreamers," he said. "The only really important things in history have been started by the dreamers. They never know what can't be done." And he wasn't shy about experimenting. In 1942, he attempted to purchase the Philadelphia Phillies with plans to stock the roster with Negro League stars. After he broached the subject with then-Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis, the National League took over the Phillies and then sold the organization to lumber baron William D. Cox. While some have denied the validity of that story, Veeck did put his stamp on baseball history when he sold his interest in the Class AAA Milwaukee Brewers to become owner of the Cleveland franchise. As owner of the Indians in the 1940s, he brought in fireworks to celebrate home runs. He signed Larry Doby as the American League's first black player just months after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier. And he turned Cleveland Municipal Stadium into a carnival of excitement. "I try not to break the rules," he would say, but merely to test their elasticity. In 1948, those Indians won the World Series and drew over 2.6 million fans, a record for the time. Veeck proved that making baseball fun and inclusive was also good for business. Of course, Veeck's legacy isn't just in championships. It's in the unbelievable tactics that kept his name in the headlines. One of the most famous? In 1951, as owner of the St. Louis Browns, he signed 3'7" Eddie Gaedel to a one-day contract. Wearing the number 1/8 on his back and a uniform borrowed from a bat boy, Gaedel walked to the plate and drew a walk on 4 consecutive pitches. Why, you might ask? Because his strike zone was practically the size of a shoebox. The stunt worked. Fans roared, newspapers lit up, and the Browns got the attention they desperately needed. "What can I do?" I asked myself, "that is so spectacular that no one will be able to say he had seen it before," Veeck said. The answer was perfectly obvious. I would send a midget up to bat. Another classic Veeck move came in Chicago, where he owned the White Sox. He introduced the exploding scoreboard at Comiskey Park. When the Sox hit a home run, fireworks shot off, lights flashed, and the ballpark felt like a rock concert. And then there was Disco Demolition Night in 1979. Partnering with Chicago radio personality Steve Dahl, Veeck's Sox invited fans to bring disco records and blow them up between games of a doubleheader. It turned into a full-blown riot on the field, and the second game had to be forfeited. Was it chaos? Absolutely. Was it remembered forever? You bet. But Bill Veeck wasn't just a circus act. Beneath the wild promotions, he believed in fairness and opportunity. He integrated the Indians before most owners were even ready, going as far as to cut the 3 players who chose not to shake hands with Doby upon introduction. He pushed for fan involvement, sometimes suggesting that fans help manage by voting on in-game decisions. He constantly fought baseball's old boys club mentality, wanting the sport to be more open, more fun, and more connected to its audience. He also showed remarkable grit. Veeck lost part of his leg while serving in World War II, but it never slowed him down. With his wooden leg and trademark cigar, he became a larger-than-life character who lived for the game and for the people who came through the turnstiles. Bill Veeck passed away in 1986, but his fingerprints are everywhere in today's game. Theme nights, fireworks shows, scoreboard entertainment, fan giveaways, that's all Veeck's DNA. Even the idea that baseball teams are community events as much as sports franchises traces directly back to him. Every baseball crowd, like every theater audience, has its own distinctive attitude and atmosphere, Veeck said. The Hall of Fame finally recognized him in 1991, cementing his place into Cooperstown not as a great hitter or pitcher, but as the sport's greatest showman. So when you see a bobblehead giveaway or fireworks night at the ballpark, or even a mascot firing t-shirts into the crowd, you're seeing a piece of Bill Veeck's imagination still alive today. He believed baseball should be fun, inclusive, and just a little unpredictable. And for that, fans today owe him more than they probably realize. This has been More Than It Seems, Stories Beyond the Cardboard. I'm John. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please like the video, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe. And as always, remember, the numbers on the back of the card never tell the full story. It's always more than it seems.